Hello and welcome to the France 24 interview. Our guest is Abdullah. Abdullah, he's the chair of the High Council for National Reconciliation in Afghanistan. Mr. Abdullah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've been in charge with the talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban. They've been taking place for several months in Doha. There was a meeting in Moscow, and there are supposed to be a meeting this April in Istanbul. Will this meeting take place, and do you hope that it will finally bring about a breakthrough?
My hope is, my desire is that we take maximum use of every opportunity which is there. And Turkey will be a unique opportunity after quite a while. But it depends on both sides. I cannot call all the shots. As far as our delegation, which will participate there, will be that they will go with the firm resolve to contribute to the success of that process. So Turkey meeting will be considered a big step forward. That's my hope.
Will it be a make or break meeting?
I hope that it will help and make, not lead to any break. It will help. But if you're talking about every single issue to be solved in that meeting, we need to be realistic. We need to make all the right efforts to have significant progress in Doha. So the implementation of that, what is achieved in Turkey, the implementation of what is achieved there or what will be achieved there should be followed by our negotiating team in other means. And then the urgency of the situation, the expectation of the people of Afghanistan, and the priority that they give to the acceleration of the process is achieved in Turkey.
Significant progress. Let's take a very concrete example, a ceasefire. Is that something that needs to be achieved in Turkey?
We hope. We hope.
It must, no? I mean, the violence continues.
As far as the calls of the people of Afghanistan or the need for an environment, conducive environment, for successful negotiation is concerned, ceasefire is a must. We're not talking about preconditions, but we're talking about what is necessary, what is absolute necessary for the successful progress in the negotiations. That is ceasefire.
Right, but when we see the situation on the ground, you've been talking with the Taliban. In the meantime, they've been ramping up their attacks. There's already talk of their traditional so-called spring offensive. How can you negotiate in those conditions?
Unfortunately, Taliban have not observed their commitment in terms of reduction in violence.
So why talk?
The point is that the other option is not a good option for the whole people of Afghanistan.
What's the other option? War?
The other option is the continuation of the war for a long time to come. We all believe, and I firmly believe, that there is no winner through the continuation of the war.
Well, the Taliban might think that they would overrun the country as the US intelligence assesses.
It will be a big miscalculation if Taliban think at this stage that they will overrun the country with the withdrawal of the US troops.
You don't think that's what would happen?
I will say that they may be able to take advantage of the situation temporarily, but that will not get Afghanistan to peace. That will not bring security, stability to Afghanistan. That will be like the continuation of the war. So one side cannot impose its will over the rest of the people of Afghanistan.
Just to go back to the Turkey meeting, is there the expectation that President Ghani will attend as well as the Taliban leader? Is that what's in the plans?
Should Taliban leader participate? Of course, the President Ghani will be.
But you don't think that's going to happen?
They have not shown. Taliban have not shown that interest.
Right. We've mentioned the elephant in the room, if I may say, the May 1st deadline for U.S. troop withdrawal. This was in the agreement between the U.S. and the Taliban last February, February of last year, The Taliban have said that if the US does not abide by that deadline, it means essentially violating the agreement, and essentially the agreement is off and war is on. The US has indicated that it might stay longer. Are you calling for the US to stay longer than May 1st?
I would say that the agreement is conditional. The United States had made a commitment that they will withdraw from Afghanistan on the 1st of May. And the Taliban had made a commitment that they will continue, they will start negotiations in good faith. They will reduce violence significantly in the duration of the negotiations. They will also cut all ties to Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups. The United States, their view currently is that those commitments of Taliban are not completely fulfilled.
And you agree?
Yes, of course. And so the conditions which were there for the withdrawal are not met. So the recent announcement as of yesterday by President Biden shows that they have reached to that conclusion. But that does not mean that they want to stay in Afghanistan forever or for a long time to come.
But it could be until the end of the year.
It could be. And that's,
you wish that that's the case? Because
I would say that it's important that the commitment of Taliban in reduction of violence, you mentioned also ceasefire, is met. It's important that Al-Qaeda, which was the prime reason for the engagement of the United States in Afghanistan, in intervention of the international community, is addressed, that question, by the Taliban. That's their commitment. Though the agreement is between both sides, Taliban and the United States, and also participation in negotiations in good faith. So together, us and the Taliban, we can provide that opportunity for the withdrawal, and that will be like good for Afghanistan, should there be peace and stability in Afghanistan and the international troop withdraws.
Right, but it seems because the situation is deadlocked, the US has come up with a new proposal. The new Biden administration has sent a letter, and there's a plan that's laid out, which includes an interim government. What is your position on this interim government proposal? Is it something that's feasible to break the deadlock, or is it a no-go for you?
The point is that there was a paper which was shared with us, and also it was shared with the Taliban. And there are ideas there that will help both sides to pick up things that works for the country. And the main idea there is the agreeing on a power-sharing arrangement. In what way, in what form, in what shape, that depends on both sides. So there is one way to agree on a power-sharing arrangement for a period of time, and then go towards elections to decide the end state. There is also another suggestion by the president of Afghanistan that to go directly towards negotiations.
This was seen as a counter-proposal and a way for him to say no to the interim government proposal.
No, it's not like saying no to the power-sharing arrangement. It is not. The power-sharing arrangement depends on the agreement between both sides, and our decision in the High Council for National Reconciliation, which the government and also the opposition and other political leaders and civil society are members of, was that we're ready to talk about our power sharing. And also if Taliban agreed to go directly towards elections, why not?
What about President Ghani's idea to call for early elections? This is seen by many as a way for him to not to concede power to an interim government. Would you say it's a good idea to go for early elections?
I would say that every agreement will depend on both sides. On both sides. And two scenarios are in front of us. One is to have power sharing arrangement for a period of time. If we could agree, not in the terms in that paper, because we have shared our reservations about parts of that paper, and we have shared it with our US colleagues. And we don't know the reaction from the Taliban to the power sharing arrangement as of yet. We don't know. Taliban have not responded. We have responded to that. So we have not rejected the idea of the power sharing arrangement. We are ready to talk about it. And the next proposal, whether it is acceptable to the Taliban or not, of course, that remains to be seen. Is that if Taliban agree that...
for early elections.
For early elections, we are ready for that.
You're ready for that. Just a last question. President Ghani dismissed not long ago the interior minister. You said this was unacceptable. Do you have problems with President Ghani over this issue and other issues? Obviously, the past has not always been very easy between the two of you.
Now I'm not in the government. My portfolio is different, and my whole focus will be on my portfolio. At the same time, there is an agreement between me and President Ghani, which I think that it needs to be observed. We will discuss these issues amongst ourselves in an environment that, yes, in political issues comes from time to time.
Is he observing that agreement with you? Is this evidence that he's not?
So we are addressing it based on the agreement, and we will. I will prefer, while outside the country, not to talk in details about what is going on otherwise. But the utmost priority for me is to support the peace process.
Right. Just as a conclusion, basically the U.S. has indicated that there's until the end of this year to find a solution. Do you agree that essentially, even though it's not said or acknowledged, that there are a few months left to find a solution, and if not, civil war is what's happening in Afghanistan next?
I think it's an opportunity for us to utilize
the last opportunity.
It's an opportunity. It's a unique opportunity to utilize it, and the U.S. should also use all its influence that the other part of the agreement, which is related to the Taliban, is implemented, which is important. It will have an impact on the outcome of the negotiations, and we will make sure that we will not waste any time, because it's urgent for the United States, but it's more urgent for the people of Afghanistan to achieve lasting, dignified, just, and durable peace.
And is war
through inclusive settlement?
You're still afraid of war?
I'm still concerned that if both sides, we do not utilize the opportunity in front of us in the best interest of our people, which is inclusive, peaceful settlement, then there is the risk of the continuation of the war, which is not good for the country.
Abdullah, I want to thank you very much for answering our questions, and thank you for watching this interview here on France 24.